Hello my lovely people, welcome. It's Talking Really here and a DWP story. Yay! Now this obviously follows on from other cases that you know about probably, such as Errol Graham, whose body was discovered in his flat after he was obviously stopped, benefits stopped. He was obviously found way after he died. Well, I think this story is actually probably a world record because I was actually shocked by it. It's another case of DWP stopping somebody's benefits, and that's it for them. Good night, Vienna, as they say. Right, let's have a little look at this because you'll see what I'm saying when in the first line of the article. And the article is in DNS, so Disability News Service. Let's go over and have a look. So here is the story. Let's have a look at it. The family say DWP has unanswered questions over the death of a disabled woman whose benefits were stopped.
The family of a disabled woman whose body lay undiscovered in her flat for more than 3 years after her benefits were stopped say they have serious unanswered questions about the actions of the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP. Laura Winham's body was not found until May 2021, more than 3.5 years after she was last seen alive. But her family say DWP appeared to have failed to carry out checks on her welfare before cutting off her benefits. They spoke out this week at the end of an inquest, and the publication of a safeguarding review into the multi-agency failures that contributed to her death. She is believed to have starved to death in November 2017 in her council-owned flat in Shearwater, Woking. Her death has clear similarities with other deaths of disabled claimants, including those of Errol Graham, whose body was also discovered in his flat in June 2018 after starving to death when his benefits were removed. Mark Wood, who starved to death in his home in 2013 after being found ineligible by DWP for Employment and Support Allowance, ESSA, and Timothy Finn, who starved to death in his home in autumn 1998 after his benefits were stopped. Laura Winham, pictured, who was living in Woking at the time of her death, had been receiving disability benefits since the age of just 2, after being born with Golden Hair syndrome and later developing several connected health conditions. She was also diagnosed with persistent delusional disorder in 2009 and had 2 spells of detention under the Mental Health Act, in 2006 and 2010. DWP wrote to her in early 2016 to say her disability living allowance claim would be ending, and she would need to apply for the new Personal Independence Payment, PIP. But she told Woking Borough Council that she could not cope with the invasive medical check-up the application would involve, almost certainly a reference to the much-criticised PIP assessment process, and her DLA was stopped in March 2016. Her ESSA had been stopped 3 years earlier, although it is not clear why. The coroner, Dr. Karen Henderson, said there had been a lost opportunity to proactively investigate the loss of Laura's benefits, but that it was not possible to say if this would have prevented her death. She said DWP had since taken steps to be more proactive and to carry out more coordination with other agencies. Both the inquest and the safeguarding review into her death, published this week, PDF, stressed that she had cut her family out of her life due to her delusional disorder. They had been forced to respect Laura's wishes because every time they tried to contact her it caused her significant mental distress, and put her safety at risk. Over the 18 months after losing her DLA, her savings ran out, and her last food shop probably took place through a Tesco delivery on the 4th of September 2017. She recorded on her calendar against that day that she had no money left. At some point, probably in early November 2017, she appears to have starved to death, although Dr. Henderson concluded on Tuesday that it was impossible to determine the cause of death, and recorded an open conclusion. By the time DWP was eventually alerted to her death, several years later, many of her records had been destroyed. The family of Laura Winham have shared with Disability News Service the secret internal process review, IPR, carried out by DWP into her death, obtained by her legal team, and marked official sensitive by the department. The case review and findings take up less than 1 page, with the document admitting there were limited records of the customer's interactions with DWP because they had been destroyed, although it confirmed that her ESA stopped in April 2013 and her DLA in March 2016. The records show she failed to attend 2 face-to-face work capability assessments, WCAs, before her ESA was stopped, so it is possible that DWP again failed to carry out safeguarding checks. Despite the unanswered questions about DWP's safeguarding actions, and the lack of remaining evidence, the IPR somehow concluded that DWP acted appropriately during the customer's benefit claims. This week, DWP did not challenge the suggestion that it failed to carry out any safeguarding visits when Laura Winham did not complete her PIP claim, and also when she failed to attend 2 WCAs. It also did not dispute that there had been a lost opportunity to proactively investigate the loss of her benefits. And it failed to explain how its IPR had concluded that DWP acted appropriately during the customer's benefit claims when there were so many unanswered questions about its safeguarding actions, and when it had destroyed most of the relevant records. It also failed to apologize to the family or say if it accepted the coroner's criticism. It declined to issue a statement, but instead produced a series of background briefing notes which suggested that the department's condolences remained with the family, and that it had introduced measures to support vulnerable claimants since her death, and had introduced strengthened guidance around safely stopping payments to claimants identified as vulnerable. In a statement issued on Tuesday at the end of the inquest, Laura's family, who described her as a much-loved, much-missed daughter and sister, said she had been left to fend for herself by agencies including DWP, Surrey County Council, Woking Council, and Surrey and Borders Partnership NHS Foundation Trust. See separate story. In a statement delivered by their solicitor, Iftik Hamanzoa, of Hudgell Solicitors, Laura's family said, "The circumstances of Laura's death have been absolutely devastating for her loved ones. They are a caring and loving family who I have come to know well over the past few years. Laura was a much-loved, much-missed daughter and sister. Her family did everything in their power to support her as she battled her mental health struggles until it became apparent she may harm herself unless they backed away. They believed Laura would be in the best possible hands when handing her into the care of professionals, people with much more knowledge and understanding of supporting those with serious mental health issues. Sadly, in this instance, that was not the case."
So there you go, my question was answered in the very last paragraph. So they obviously backed away when there was a danger of self-harm, so that's why there was no contact for that period of time. Although, to be perfectly blunt, would you not inquire for 3 years? I don't know. I'm not sure. I find it... Well, you don't know. You don't know what family life is like, so you can't really comment. Anyway, that's it. DWP story. Wow, I expected to get loads of views, because you tend to like those, but not anything else. Find that very, very frustrating. So if you do like my videos, then you should really like all of them. So help me out. Watch the other ones, watch the other videos, click like, share, subscribe, and all of that. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Are you looking for a new phone provider? I am, and I found one. I was with O2 for many, many years. However, Lebara offer me the same and better service for half the price. So currently I'm paying £22 for unlimited data and calls, and I also get 100 minutes of international calls, which is quite useful because I can phone my wife in Thailand. They also do a data package, so if you're travelling you can buy a data add-on and it will give you 30 days of data for around about £15, which I think is marvellous, and it's a lot cheaper than I was paying before, and I'm very happy. If you want to get the borrower, click the link down below, and of course you'll get the benefit of it. So have a good day, and back to the video.